I'm ready. Okay. Hi, this is Leo.
About time for anyone telling you off for all your deeds.
In this podcast, which I think is number 4, we are going to talk about post-workout nutrition, or the post-workout shake. So I'm going to back it up a little bit, just a little, not a lot, but just so you understand. We talked about a pre-workout, but that's a supplement. Okay, that's a supplement. That was in episode 3. Talked about how a pre-workout supplement works, why it's needed, who it's good for, and all that stuff. So you know that, but we didn't talk about the pre-workout nutrition, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about it. But basically, you don't want to have a whole food meal. A good rule of thumb is 3 hours. 3 hours from any type of exercise. Okay, if you have a screaming metabolism, you could probably push it to 2 hours. But my general rule of thumb with my clients is 3 hours. Okay, why? Here's why. If you put anything in your gut, especially clean, fast absorbing, digesting, processing food, it still takes time to your body to break it down. And the last thing you want is a gut or belly full of food going to exercise. And here's the main reason why. Your body sends blood to food to help it digest. Okay, we're trying to bring blood to muscles via exercise. If it's cardio or weightlifting or CrossFit or wrestling or football, lacrosse, whatever the sport is, the same thing applies. So it's going to make for a very poor workout. You're not going to be able to get a pump. You'll probably be lethargic because you got this food sitting in your gut waiting to break down. So 2 to 3, preferably 3 hours before any type of exercise is when you want to have a good whole food meal. What to have? Something clean, something that's going to break down quick. A good protein source, a little bit of carbohydrate, and maybe some MCT oil, or just a little bit of fat. Could be from nuts. My favorite oils are MCT oil or macadamia nut oil. But basically that's it, and that's going to give you your pre-workout nutrition. What that's going to do technically is fill that muscle cell up with amino acids from the protein, so you're going into your workout with your guns loaded. Okay, so here's what's going to happen during a workout. And a lot of you have probably heard the word anabolic, and the opposite would be catabolic. So the word anabolic means experiencing muscle protein synthesis. All right, and that's in a perfect world, we want to be in an anabolic state 24 hours. We want to be experiencing muscle protein synthesis throughout the day, from morning till night. The opposite would be catabolic, which is experiencing muscle protein breakdown or muscle wasting. Okay, so during a workout, when we're throwing down, doing what we do, we're gonna go catabolic. There's just no way around it, to a degree. So having that cell filled with protein, that muscle cell filled with protein and amino acids prior, is going to help us not go too deep of being catabolic, but we're still going to be catabolic. There is no way around that. Okay, that's why you want to get in and get out as quick as possible to flip the anabolic switch on. Okay, so another thing that happens during a workout besides going catabolic is your body releases a hormone. It's a bad hormone. It's a stress hormone called cortisol. And what cortisol does is it pretty much shuts things down. It shuts down your metabolic hormones, your anabolic hormones. People that have high stress lifestyles have a lot of cortisol running through their veins throughout the day, and cortisol can cause obesity. I see a lot of clients that are heavy, very heavy, and I start to break down their lifestyle, and it's a very, very hectic, stressful lifestyle, and basically it's their cortisol levels are through the roof all day. So there's no way to prevent your cortisol levels from being spiked during exercise or a workout, but what we can do is we can shut them off immediately post-workout with post-workout nutrition or a post-workout shake. So you've just worked out for your hour and 15 minutes, and you're catabolic. So what do you do? What is the best thing for you to do to flip to, number one, squash cortisol levels, and number two, turn the anabolic switch on? Well, I've been doing this for 35 years. So a lot of my information that I give is going to be factual. I don't claim to know anything, hardly anything. I know a little bit, but not only the research that I've done, but it's the experience. It's the experience I have, and that's something that money can't buy. I've worked with thousands of athletes and people in the last 35 years, and I know it works. So that's why I'm making this podcast, to help people so you don't do the wrong thing. So the post-workout cocktail or shake, in my opinion, would be a very fast-acting protein powder. And we sell the quickest, fastest absorbing powders made on this earth. So that's going to give you enough reason to come to my store, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. But you want an ultra hydrolyzed protein powder. What does hydrolyzed means? It means pre-digested or already broken down. So it's the powders that I use and that I sell. It's like putting a syringe of amino acids in your arteries, and it just goes right to that cell. It's already microfiltered and broken down into such small microscopic peptides, it's instantly absorbed. So a fast absorbing hydrolyzed protein powder, and like I say, I only sell one, and there's only one that I would use and one that I would recommend. So a protein powder is number one in the post-workout shake. Number two, and equally as important, is the carbohydrate. And a lot of people don't know that. But the carbohydrate, what that's going to do is that's going to spike insulin. And insulin is a hormone, as you probably already know, but it can be a very, very good hormone or a very bad hormone. As far as being a good hormone, it could really help with muscle building. Okay, the opposite would be spiking insulin levels to create fat storage. Okay, so post-workout, you got the protein powder, the carbohydrate, which is going to spike insulin. And what insulin does a few things. But number one, what it's going to do is it's going to squash your cortisol levels. And that's what we want to do. We want to suppress, we want to squash those levels as soon as possible. So when you have a fast-acting carbohydrate, it's going to kill the cortisol levels, spike insulin levels, and what insulin really does well is it transports nutrients to the cell and it drives them inside. So it kind of acts as a taxi cab. It says, hey, okay, amino acids, climb aboard, and I'm going to drive you to the muscle cell and force you inside of it, putting you in that anabolic state. So my favorite carbohydrate is something called waxy maize. And I'm not talking about Vitargo, although Vitargo is waxy maize, but the waxy maize that we sell is just pure 100% uncolored, unflavored waxy maize. And I've experimented with probably every carbohydrate known to man post-workout, and it has a very, very heavy molecular weight, so it's instantized. It's kind of like the protein powder. It's already not broken down, but it's going to sink in your gut really fast because of the heavy molecular weight, but it's going to be absorbed instantly. Okay, so the protein powder, the carbohydrate, and then there's two other things I like to throw in there, which are branched chain amino acids and glutamine. We talked about BCAAs and glutamine in episode 2, so you all know what they do, how they work, why they're important. Well, once again, you're depleting those amino acids in the muscle cell during the workout, so replenish them post. So my recommended post-workout cocktail would be a protein powder, and the right protein powder, a carbohydrate, branched chain amino acids, and glutamine. Those are my 4 favorite things for anybody. If you're in high school or if you're Olympic level caliber athlete, that's going to make a huge difference. The difference between doing that and not doing that is seeing lots of growth, getting stronger, getting bigger, and recuperating. recovering, repairing that tissue almost immediately versus none or a little bit. Okay, so that's what I do personally. I've always done that. Every single client I have do it. People that come in here, wanting advice, that's what I would tell them. So it's going to make a night and day difference in your overall progress and growth. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this episode on post-workout nutrition. You can check out the link below to find our store location and hours. And I appreciate all of you listening and all the support. It's been very, very welcoming so far. And come to our store, and I can give you, this is the tip of the iceberg, the little that I've taught you so far. There's a lot more that goes with this, and that's what I do with my customers, is I treat them individually and find out what they specifically need for their goals. So come to our store, and I'll give you more of this advice, and I appreciate all your support. Thanks for listening. The only thing I ask in response is for you to like, share, and subscribe, 1, 2, or all 3, and I don't see, those are just
like, share, subscribe.
That's it.
That's good.
All right.
I'll work with that.
Well, no, let's do it over. I want to do it over.
All right. You can go.